This is your girl, AyChristene, and today we're checking out TheAMaazing. This is I regret leaving YouTube to be a doctor. Whoa. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. This is spicy. It's spicy. Links down below to become a patron to get the uncut reaction to all the shows and anime we check out, like Spooky, Keaton Mesmer, J.X.S, Some Simp, Christopher Zerline, Pika Plaza, Anthony, Agua y Sol, and Chalk Prince. Links down below, like I said. Now let's get started.
Hitting 1 million subscribers. What are you gonna do next? I'm gonna quit YouTube and be a doctor. Give it back. I've been both a
Hilarious.
certified doctor by day
Hilarious.
and an uncertified YouTuber by night for nearly a decade. But at the peak of it all, I decided to quit YouTube. But why? Hi, my name is Maz. I'm talking about my regrets juggling these two massive jobs, why I left YouTube, and why I'm coming back. In early 2020, I released a video where I announced that I would take a year off from medicine to really focus on YouTube full time. Because instead of having regrets about putting only half of my focus on YouTube, this was my chance to give 110% to the almighty algorithm. I wanted to make more videos, build up a new team, tour around the world, go to VidCon, visit new friends, and then
you did a lot of that.
Nothing else of note occurred during this year. Okay, fine. Among Us came out.
Hilarious.
This video, I made a public call out for people to join TheAMaazing. Now, I'm sure it's no surprise, but building a team is hard work. I never thought that my hobby
I think I remember that video.
In leading people to also work on my silly ideas. It's not really a skill they teach you in doctor school, but also I was too busy drawing S's.
Hilarious.
Thoughts of committing arson take over.
Arson is a criminal offense.
Although it was hard, I knew it was necessary to get some help in order to survive on this platform.
And he made
my 1 year off was like a timer above my head. And when it went off, I would die.
Whoa.
I mean, return to being a full-time doctor. Actually,
wow, hilarious.
Those are the same things.
Dr. Maz,
no, they're not.
Urgent surgery.
Yeah, can you come back in like a year?
Hilarious.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Now, thankfully, after sitting through thousands of amazing applications, I managed to slowly but surely build up TheAMaazing. I found this to be one of the most rewarding experiences yet. Being able to work closely with immensely skilled artists in order to bring my videos to life. And honestly, I couldn't have made my
really
videos
fire. Whoa.
Cinema. And as the months ticked away, it only got easier and easier to craft my videos with my new super kick-ass team. We worked hard to upload consistently, which made me believe it'd be possible to juggle being a real doctor,
was there mayo in there?
But the end of my year off was looming, and I got real nervous about how much my medical knowledge and skills had depreciated from the time away from the hospital. I was so locked in for YouTube that I had completely neglected my medical half, and all I could do was pray that my YouTube knowledge would somehow come in clutch. Yo, what's up, Martians, and welcome back to my new unboxing video. Other kidney. But surprisingly, I found that the experience of building and managing a team for YouTube was actually super helpful for my medical life. Even as a junior doctor, my senior staff members would be surprised at my ability to just get things done. I mean, when you're crunching through full-time jobs at the same time for years, I guess your efficiency would go up. And due to my experience, 100%. I was also praised for my impeccable efficiency skills. Mars, you can't keep asking patients to subscribe. Oh, sorry. What about liking my videos?
No.
Well, yeah, obviously they should do that.
Okay.
The months that I had spent building up TheAMaazing paid off big, and I was able to be a doctor and YouTuber at the same time for years to come. I'll admit that it was tough at first, adjusting after doing only YouTube for a year.
Oh,
but I made it work because I had two wolves inside me.
All right.
I'm not afraid. Despite all of my successes,
it's okay if you are.
But surely other responsibilities started to creep in. And the very precarious balance that I had worked so hard for started to tip over.
Talking about study warning.
I wasn't going to remain a junior doctor forever. So as I got more and more experience, my workload increased. That only got exponentially worse after I joined a training program to become a senior specialist doctor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For this training program being a pair of incredibly difficult, high failure rate exams. And
high failure rates
is when things went from difficult but tolerable to downright impossible.
Right.
I should have committed arson.
Arson is a criminal offense.
These were not exams where you can just snooze on through until the very last day.
Right.
I'm talking about a cumulative 50% pass rate to get through both exams in one go. Even with adequate
pass
rate.
rate?
And if you do fail, you can only retake the exams next year.
Whoa.
And you only have 3 tries. Now,
oh
this
my
is some
gosh.
coin flipping if I've ever seen one. Oh, I'm safe. Mind you, the main way that I've been able to juggle things so far is by working or going to medical school in the morning and then immediately switching gears to YouTube by night. I had almost no time to socialize, play games, meet new people.
Oh dear, what's with that creepy clown?
Hours and hours of studying for exams on top of what I was already doing was absolutely impossible.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Wait, did that actually work?
Oh.
As if the workload itself wasn't hard enough to deal with, things started to get more complicated when people at work found out about my YouTube channel. Hey, which one of you snitched? I mean, it was bound to come out eventually, but I guess I didn't expect the way that other doctors and staff members would react.
How did they know?
It made for a decent icebreaker, which was cool, but a majority were just super awkward. Like,
really?
Wow, cool.
Oh.
That seat's taken. There were also a fair bit of just outright rude comments. I was at a wedding for one of my friends, and as I was sitting there trying to make small talk to people that I had never met before, I got outed as a YouTuber by my friend sitting next to me. And that resulted in one of them just straight up saying,
"Oh wait, are you the one who makes the weird cartoons online?"
On the outside, I said,
goodness.
"Oh yeah, that's me." But on the inside, I was like, "What the else do you want me to say?" Yup, I'm
hilarious.
The total lunatic over here. Ooh,
wow.
Just you wait. I am so gonna make a video about you. I'm making
wow. That why would you say that? People are so
that I worked on as a passion
people
project.
Are so dumb.
I'm not even asking for people to understand, but just like be normal people about it.
Right.
In retrospect, I'm sure these were throwaway comments from them, but it definitely made me feel ashamed about the fact that I was making content, about videos that I was so happy with.
No.
I am happy making animations, aren't I? Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
With the monstrous amount of work I was doing between YouTube, medicine, and my exam prep, I found myself struggling to just hold on. I have receipts from DMs between friends, and I was genuinely throwing around terms like survival, as if my life was on the line trying to juggle everything.
It's a lot.
Instead of focusing on what I actually wanted to make, I started writing scripts where I wasn't all that passionate about it. And instead of focusing on what I wanted to make, I started to overthink about what other people would want. I would like you to continue surgery. Please. In addition to that, the mounting workload was seriously placing pressures on myself and my team. Unlike what people may have thought, I was still heavily involved with the creative process, even with my super amazing, incredibly talented team. But because of everything that was going on, you know, trying to be a certified doctor, I was often delayed in getting projects started. People would then have to wait around for more work because of me. Videos were then taking longer to get completed.
It's the weight. It's starting to weigh very heavy.
Not to mention my contractual obligations to meet specific quotas for sponsors, which resulted in work crunches to hit deadlines, impacting on all of our mental and sometimes physical health. Wait a second. Being your own boss and making videos for yourself is great. Having so many incredibly fantastic, gorgeous people depend on you financially for their livelihood, that responsibility added a surreal amount of expectation, and I felt like I was constantly failing them at all times while scrambling to get my own life in order. So I get that. Sat there, pondering why I was even doing it all in the first place. Is this the repetitive, never-ending cycle of these huge workloads truly what I wanted to do?
Right. Do you want to be
By this point, I had given up a
under the weight
of my childhood and early 20s in order to grind out this YouTube thing. I was able to succeed on a passion project that so many people dream of doing.
Right.
And despite knowing that, I wasn't even sure if I could confidently say that I was happy.
Oh, wow.
There's no way around it. I knew that I was definitely burnt out from everything.
Okay.
This only got worse by the tonal whiplash that would happen from work. Dealing with the YouTube pressure was bad enough, but the pressures of working in a hospital with extremely unwell patients can be so emotionally and cognitively taxing.
Yes, the burnout is probably...
1 minute I'm making a new terminal diagnosis, and beep, 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 there's an emergency call on the wards where I'm desperately trying to keep them alive. Each crucial second ticking away.
Wow, that is crazy.
Bad outcome.
Oh no.
By the virtue of working in a hospital, death and illness became an everyday part of my life. Only for me to then go home, draw silly pictures, and pour mayonnaise on myself? Huh?
Did you?
What? What is going on? Is this disrespectful? It's gotta be disrespectful, right?
Why are you pouring mayonnaise on yourself?
Started to grow. It impacted on my ability to figure out who I was, what I wanted to do, and exactly how I fit in with these jobs. I struggled a lot with a sense of never belonging with my race, being both not Western or not brown enough. How twisted is it that later in my life, I would also feel like I don't belong cleanly with my job either. Neither true YouTuber nor doctor.
Identity.
And with all of these thoughts swirling in my head, the pressure mounting, workload building, and the burnout continuing to take a toll on myself, I stopped making videos. Mafia 3 was meant to be the final video for TheAMaazing, a wrap-up of my trilogy, a big spectacle of a video.
Oh yeah, the Mafia.
I remember it being so gut-wrenching too, because I love my fans, and I felt this immense sense of guilt about leaving. I did want to make an update video or at least a formal goodbye to explain everything. But it was all getting so taxing on me as a person that the idea of even going back for one more video made me genuinely so nauseous and anxiety-stricken that I just couldn't do it.
Wow.
So I disappeared online.
Wow.
I still continued to talk to my friends, visited my mates in America, and was active over on the Voice Chat podcast. Basically, just living my life without TheAMaazing. Heartwarmingly, some of you wondered what happened to me, sending me DMs, asking on live streams. There were even Reddit posts asking where I was.
Really?
I never ever expect this sort of love or care from anyone, so this was just the most endearing thing ever. Thank you. I also got to feel mysterious, like, ooh, where's Maz?
Yeah, where's the mysterious Maz?
Wait, can I see that thread? There was this one distinct moment in a random bookstore that I went to, where they had this panel to try out new gel pens. I picked one up, and I didn't really know what to draw. So my mind instinctively went to something that I had been drawing for years and years at that time. My character.
Yes.
And what was done as an innocent gesture to try out a new pen quickly turned to a deep sense of sadness. It had been months after my decision to stop making videos.
You felt a bunch of guilt.
I was still keeping that hope alive. That maybe one day I can get back into the swing of things. But by drawing this one little picture at a random bookstore, I realized that this may be the last time I ever draw my character again.
Oh dear.
A channel that I had spent years working on, TheAMaazing, was finally done. Looks like my summer vacation is over.
Oh goodness, and you see like the surgical.
Look, you're watching this video, so you know I've come back.
Right. True.
YouTube was so necessary, not just for my mental health, but also to free up time in order to prepare for the major obstacle
of
in
the
becoming
test. Yeah, I want to know how you did on that test.
The exams.
Yes,
Chance of success, low. The risk of failure, high. My transformation into a basement dweller, guaranteed.
100%.
Hey, Ditus. I genuinely cannot express to you how much of a blur this period of my life was. It was like clockwork, going in for the day to sharpen my clinical skills, and going home to study all night, and then rinse and repeat for almost 2 years. I couldn't even access my textbooks online anymore because they thought I was a robot. With all that being said and done, it must have been worth it because I passed the exam.
Yay!
Genuinely one of the most grueling hurdles I've ever had to get through, and it's now over. I'm a real doctor now.
Arson.
I'm a real boy.
Okay, can we get on with the surgery now? Wait, is that my kidney?
The craziest part about
pull that thing in there
is how it impacted my creative side. Having time away from the demands of YouTube was enough for me to
again with the
from my burnout,
jar of
and
mayonnaise.
B,
explain that
on
to me.
why I was doing it all in the first place. I didn't start this to be famous or to make money, and it sure as wasn't to mindlessly churn out content that I didn't care about anymore. I started to make content to tell stories out of my own creative, burning desire.
Out of your desire.
Else. So what happens when you lock somebody at their creative wit's end in a hospital for 2 years? As the doctor, not the patient. Well, for me, the need to create just grew and grew. Biding time until I could let them out. And hey,
it starts
if I'm going
to
to
seep
release
out
my creative side again,
and leak
why
out
not
of you.
give YouTube another go? All right. Arson is a criminal of... Wait, Maz is back?
Hilarious.
Let's go, dude! Okay, but what about the lack of time, Maz? Well, that's still the case with my work and another reason I'll talk about in a future video. But with the massive gatekeeping exams out of the way, that's basically freed up a majority of my time to allow me to get back to 2 full-time jobs, just like how I used to.
Goodness.
Look at this funny comment I got.
I'm losing blood.
Right.
But also, that's hilarious.
But
hello,
Maz,
are we going to help this man by the end of this video?
What's so funny is that the story parallels and reverses. Now this time, because of me stepping up as a senior doctor, I've got more experience than ever in managing a large, always moving team, which all transferred over to the YouTube side of things. I love them so much. I'm so incredibly lucky to have this online career, and I want to continue to look at it as a passion project, just like how I started. I've even started to indulge in my own creativity. Like, for example, you may have noticed each video has its own unique planet and aesthetic planned out by my team and I.
Okay, that's cute.
Noticed, which makes me sad because we worked hard on those. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Because that's what makes me Amazing.
Go ahead.
Man, it really has been a while, hasn't it?
Hilarious.
And to be able to craft these passion projects with my views reasonably dropping off over my hiatus, I've been relying more and more on sponsors, patrons, and channel members. I am not kidding when I say that I could not be making these videos without them. Maybe
it's true. They help to fuel the machine.
But it is still surreal to me when people watch my videos, and especially when they choose to support me and Team Amazing financially.
It's beautiful.
Genuinely, thank you. I cannot believe that. I wish my doctor's salary was enough to run it by myself, but unfortunately it is not.
Oh, wow.
You will not believe how much these videos cost. It's like an arm and a leg out here.
What about this man? Is he dead?
Don't look at me.
And now that I've tasted retirement, I can say for certain that I won't be doing YouTube forever. Because retirement was awesome.
Hilarious.
I only worked one full-time job.
Right.
But hey, at least until the 10-year milestone, maybe I've got a few more in me. And I hope that you'll be there too. So yeah, that's been my journey over the last 4 years.
What about that
I know what I'm
surgery?
talking about is super specific to my circumstances, but I hope you found it helpful, somewhat relatable, or at least entertaining.
I understand.
I really do appreciate you all for watching my videos, and I hope that you stick around for future videos too. Thank you again, and stay amazing.
For sure. Like, I 100% understand. I understand burnout. I understand overdoing things. I understand having two full plates, if not more than two full plates of things constantly filling up, and you're constantly doing, and you're constantly working on things. And you do get to a point where it does affect your mental. And then taking that identity or crisis of identity that he was having with it in regards to his race, and then here you go into your job, and then it still amazes me how people are not good at being people. Like the person, are you that one that makes that weird cartoon videos online? Shut up. And like, when I remember times where I would have people be like, oh, so you play games for a living? I wish at the time I would have been like, oh, so you go to work to have somebody tell you what to do for a living? Like a snapback. At the time I didn't. Because it kind of shakes you, and you do kind of I remember feeling like, you know, it like not wanting to tell people what I did because of how it would be viewed, looked down, like it would be looked down upon. Now I don't tell other people what I do out of protection, okay? Because I don't need you to know. If you don't know, you don't need to know, okay? But which reminds me of a story I told my members. But nonetheless, that aspect of, you know, feeling that sense of shame and that sense of identity, where do you belong? I would have to say that even though me and my husband both worked and did YouTube full time for many years, we weren't doctors. Okay. We were not doctors. We were not taking high risk tests, which I'm glad he did let us know he at least finished the test and he succeeded, and I'm happy for him. I think it's really awesome the fact that he is doing this, you know, being a doctor. It's like, that's fire. It's hella fire. What would be cool is if he did stories of some of the things that he came across, you know, like what are some of the patients he's worked on? Obviously, you know, give them some fake name and what have you to protect things. But I would be interested. I would definitely be interested to see, like, you know, oh, the time that someone had this and I had to get rid of it. Or, you know, I was going to say something crazy. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But I will say that it would be really cool to get his perspective as being a doctor, you know. But yes, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Links down below to become a patient to get the uncut reaction to all the shows and anime we check out. I love you guys as always. And until next time, buddies. Toodles.